And an update on the wheat field. It's been a couple weeks since we last worked it, and the grass is really coming back strong. Unfortunately, we've had quite a bit of rain over the last couple of weeks, and I'm afraid I'm going to have to plow it again. Let me know in the comments below if you think that would be a wise choice or you think disking it would be enough. Alright, and we are back with the 1913 Meadows grist mill. I did a little bit of research over the week and figured out how to split these things apart so I can get a better look at the stones. So I'm going to put you down and watch as I just undo a couple of bolts and start pulling this thing apart so we can actually take a peek at the stones. All right, with a little bit of persuasion, we have the case split and we get our first glimpses at the stones. And don't look too bad. They actually look really good, like they've been recently dressed. There's a little bit of rubbish up here along the top, but I think that was from me just spinning it over. So go ahead and get in here with a blower here soon and kind of clean this up a little more. But for now, I think I have another issue that I need to address, and that's these two bottom skids are pretty rotten, and these bolts that's right here kind of stick up and out and are kind of loose, and I can't really tighten them up because I'm out of threads. So that's probably the next thing. I need to find me a piece of wood. I believe I have a piece in the shop that I can replace these with. So next step is probably getting this here kind of put back together enough that way I can move it, get it inside the shop so I can get these new skids made for it and put on. Well, unfortunately, the piece that I had inside the barn isn't long enough, so to the lumber yard tomorrow I will be going to get a piece that is big enough for what I'm needing to make the new skids. We'll pick back up tomorrow. All right, it's the next day. Went to the lumberyard this morning, picked up some supplies and a new post to make the skids for the mill. I've taken some measurements off the mill and started to lay it out. I got it cut down to the lengths I need. All right, now the bottom skids are about 4 feet long. I went ahead and made mine just a touch longer. That way, whenever you split the case, whenever you go to dress the stones, you can lay it down on the skids instead of having to have a secondary kind of skid to lay it on, or a pallet. So I made mine 5 feet long instead of the 4. By taking some measurements, I figured out, because I've seen that down here they are notched for these 2 pieces. Let's see that. And by taking some measurements, I kind of know what to do. Right now, while the battery for the saw is charging, I went ahead and started laying it out. They're a 1/2 inch deep channel, and they're both a different size. One is 3 3/4 and the other one's like 3 5/8. So we'll pick back up whenever we're ready to cut, when the battery's charged. Just gonna take a second real quick and say, if you haven't watched the first video whenever we first looked at the mill, please go check that out. I'll leave the link to that in the description down below. And also, if you're not following us on Facebook, I periodically post updates and kind of just little snapshots of what I'm doing and where you might see us out and about. Also leave a link to the Facebook page down in the description below as well. Check the gauging. Still good. Very nice. One notch done. I still got to come in here and clean this up a little bit more, but you get the idea of what we're going for. Now to do this one. All right, now we got the notches notched out and cleaned up. All that's left now is to lift the mill up so we can get the old skids out and get these mounted up. All right, we have the mill up on the sawhorses. Got one of the skids off. Got it over here and laid out next to one of the new ones. Got the holes marked, ready to drill. All right, then we'll be taking off the other skid and then we'll be on to the next. All right, sorry I didn't film anything getting the skids on. It was just stupid hot. And it's more or less just trying to get it done. But all that's left now is to get it down off the sawhorses and in the shop, which I'll end up doing that off camera. So we're gonna go ahead and end it off here. I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you haven't subscribed, go right ahead and do so. And make sure you check out the links down in the description on the first video of the mill and the Facebook page. See y'all in the next one.